boys and girls. I'm excited to tell you a little bit about President's Day today. I know you have off from school and you think that's fantastic, but do you know why you have off from school? On President's Day, we remember two presidents, Lincoln and Washington, because both of their birthdays are in February, and they also did wonderful things that we remember even till this day. George Washington was our first president, and Abraham Lincoln was our, you remember, 16th president. Now, I was thinking, how can I explain to you some of the things about President's Day? And there's actually a lot you could know about these two gentlemen and the holiday itself. Some people don't just celebrate two presidents, they celebrate all the presidents on President's Day. And that's okay too, because we had some pretty great presidents that led us in this country. But I decided to stay focused on George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and share some pretty cool facts about these two presidents on President's Day. So, let's begin, shall we? Who are the presidents we celebrate on President's Day? Well, it's George Washington, our first president, and Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president. And fun fact, did you know that George Washington is on the $1 bill and the quarter, and Abraham Lincoln is on the $5 bill and the penny? Check it out the next time you get your hands on some cool cash. President's Day is celebrated on the third Monday in February each year. George Washington's birthday is actually February 22nd, and Abraham Lincoln's birthday is actually February 12th. But we celebrate them, like I said, on the third Monday in February of each year. So sometimes the date is actually different, but it always falls on that third Monday. President's Day is actually a federal holiday, and post offices and schools are all closed to observe this special day. But let me get into a little bit about each particular president. And first I'm going to start with George Washington. George Washington was born in 1732, and he became the first president in 1789 at the age of 57. He was called the father of our country. But believe it or not, he never actually lived in the White House. Can you believe it? Nope. It hadn't been built yet. In fact, construction began when the first brick was laid in October of 1792. And although President Washington oversaw the construction of the house, he never actually lived in it. And since that time, each president has lived in that house and was able to make their own changes and additions to the house by switching up the furniture or changing the wallpaper or the room's colors. Yeah, the first person to live in the White House was President John Adams. He was the first one to live there in 1800 before it was finished. And since then, every president and his family has lived at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, except George Washington. Interesting, isn't it? But enough about John. Let's get back to George. He was the president for 2 terms, which means 8 years, from 1789 to 1797. And he was one of the most popular figures in America and could have continued being president, but he decided to relinquish his power, setting a precedent for his successors and stepping down after his terms were completed. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12th in 1809, and he was America's 16th president in 1860. And Abraham Lincoln is remembered as the great emancipator because he worked to end slavery in the United States. So he had another nickname too. It was called Honest Abe, and a couple different reasons. Because he started a business that, well, didn't really do so well, and instead of running away, as most people might have, he stayed and worked to pay off his debt. And the other reason was because It was said that he ran miles to give a customer the right amount of change, which made him very, very honest, considering he didn't necessarily have to do that. Now, Lincoln grew up in a small log cabin with just one room inside. Could you imagine him in 1847 moving into the huge White House? Pretty cool, right? Another fun fact about these two presidents is that their faces are on Mount Rushmore. Yes, an actual carving on a mountain. And the entire project took 14 years to complete and over 400 workers. Can you believe that? The mountain was named in 1885 after Charles E. Rushmore, a New York attorney, but the four presidents on Mount Rushmore are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Pretty cool stuff to think of those presidents on a mountain, isn't it? Some other special memorials or statues of Washington and Lincoln: the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., for George Washington, the New York State George Washington Memorial. And to see these places or learn more about them, check them out on the web or set up a trip and go see them in person. But why exactly do we celebrate George Washington for President's Day? Well, he and the people he worked with made it so that citizens who are members of our country, the United States, have a say in how the country's run, that we can choose leaders and change the rules. Yep. And Abraham Lincoln was someone who helped give African Americans the same rights as everyone else. He changed the rules. So on President's Day, we do celebrate the two important presidents of the United States, George Washington, whose birthday is February 22nd, and Abraham Lincoln, whose birthday is February 12th. Third Monday in February each year, we are able to honor these two men and all they did for our country. And there we have it, President's Day. Pretty cool tidbits about Mount Rushmore, huh? And I bet you'll never look at money again without looking for which president is on it. All right, children. Well, let's close out by... Got my flag behind me and my flag scarf. How about a beautiful salute? I like to do that on days we remember people from our country. Always use your right hand, the one that you put over your heart to pledge allegiance. You use that hand up here with a beautiful salute. Are you ready? Okay. I'll catch you learners next time in the Learning Zone. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.